Hello, I am Doragon, Kishu, Paladin, and Dragon Rider. Welcome to Dragon Riders Around the Watch D&D Talk, where I like to talk with chat about Dungeons and Dragons. It's just a fun thing to do, and also hoping in the future to be streaming some gameplay. But that just a slight update. Not quite sure when that's going to happen. I'm going to be doing it with Kate, and sure, her schedule is very busy right now. So just kind of going to be doing this one right now, the D&D chat talk one, and I don't know, maybe some other stuff. But excuse me. Yeah. So there's also something else I want to talk about. I want to see if there's anybody in chat yet. There may not be anybody. Let's see. My apologies. I'm just trying to understand if I'm actually signed into this chat. Normally it happens automatically, so. Usually it tells me. Ah, there we go. It's working now. Okay. I apologize for that at all. Hello, Gal QT. If you are if you're just hanging in there, or if you actually hear me or not. All right. So yeah. Sorry. Some water. Okay, so let's give you a little bit of history. Anybody that follows my Twitter knows about this. Maybe knows too much about this. I got back into D&D in 2017 as a player of 5e, and then I also started a vlog where I talked about dungeon mastering, because dungeon mastering is actually the main thing that I've done with Dungeons and Dragons, like in my 20s and in my teens. So when I started 5e and when I was in my 40s, I really wanted to get familiar with 5e system before I started dungeon mastering it. But even though I was just a player in 2017, I did start the Dungeon Master vlogs, and one of the things I started talking about was world building, because I do a lot of homebrew. I do all homebrew. However, I do incorporate things like from Forgotten Realms and things. I incorporate things in there. There's a telephone. Different phone. All right. Anyway, so like I said, got into it, started doing some D&D vlog. One of the things I started doing was world building, and I started building this adventure, and somebody asked me if I was going to publish it, and I wasn't sure. My conflict was Dungeons & Dragons is an absolute creative escape, as opposed to something where I was trying to like make a living, make any money, do anything to money. It's just my freest place to be creative. Aside, because other things that I do, worked on professionally have been creative, but I haven't made a living being creative yet. But my point is with D&D, it was just purely just something that I love. So yeah, I had conflict about publishing a module. Yeah, but I kind of tried to combat with it. I even created a Kickstarter and just felt like, you know what, I'm not ready for this. So I literally canceled the Kickstarter right after I started it. And then life came in, and I took a break from D&D. Not from D&D. I took a break from the internet for a little while, for over a year. And but after a while, during that time, in 2018, I started a campaign. I learned how to be a dungeon master for 5e, and I ran a campaign for my girlfriend throughout 2018. Came back on to my D&D Twitter account and also in 20. Now I'm getting the dates mixed up. 2019. Yeah, I came back in 2019 after taking over a year break from, like I said, from social media stuff. I missed the community, D&D community, and so I reconnected, and I was working on Rhealm before in 2017, but then I put it down. God, I'm really mixing up these dates. My apologies. I was working out at it. I guess it was 2017. But when I took the break, then when I came back, I picked up Rhealm right where it was, and I continued it. And I ended up publishing it in November of 2019. I did not do a Kickstarter or anything like that. Just not there yet. I just wanted to publish something Dungeons and Dragons. I've published, as a writer, I've published a couple novellas, and I've published a poetry thing, but that was a while back. And, but that was self-publishing also. But with Dungeons and Dragons, I wanted to just do it. And like I said, the conflict was I don't want this to affect my my hobby, my thing that I was so passionate about doing, that was not about money or career or anything else. But I published it. I got a lot of support from the community. A guy named Eric Bookert actually helped me with some of the names of different things in the module. I got feedback along the way a lot with Rhealm. As I approached publishing it in November 2019, I did start to think, what am I going to do next? In August 2019, which was 3 months before I'd published Rhealm, I came up with a concept called HAIKON. And it was going to be, actually it's going to be, wow, my brain is just not working today, man. All I had is water. Anyway, it's a campaign setting. It was a campaign setting on a singular continent, though. It wasn't a bunch of continents. Just one on its own plane that I created, HAIKON. Yeah, so my next one was going to be HAIKON. I didn't feel super inspired like I was with Rhealm. With Rhealm, there was different people's shows I was watching on Twitch, and there was just a couple DMs that I really liked. And this one guy guy named Will from Encounters Roleplay. I don't know if he's online anymore. I don't know. I think he was in England or Europe somewhere, and then he moved to the Americas. No, to Northern America, I believe. And then I didn't really hear much more about him. I don't know what he's doing, or maybe I don't know what he's doing. I don't think he's online anymore. Well, I shouldn't say that. Kind of rambly today. It's my first show this week. And anyway, but he's a great DM. And yeah, so I was watching. I happened to land. He ran a lot of different campaigns, like 5 different campaigns per week or something. And he Twitched more than anybody else I knew, and Twitch streamed. And yeah, so he happened to land on the finale of an episode where they were coming out of this icy castle, and there were these cool frost skeletons from Frostguard, and it really inspired me. And it inspired me to create a kind of icy kind of adventure. And this was before I thought about publishing it all. I just created it for the vlog I was doing where I was talking about world building. Yeah, so that was an inspiration. I had a spark of inspiration in Rhealm. It was my first one, and it was just all inspiration. I tweeted like crazy, too much, but who cares? And I wasn't trying to make a living here, and I wasn't trying to be a businessman. I was just passionate about it, and I still am passionate about Rhealm. It's so hard for me to not tweet about it. I on occasion will mention it and have it as a sale price on the PDF, because the Rhealm the PDF is on drive-through, and it's on sale now for $2.95. So you can find Rhealm. Rhealm is spelled with an H though, Rhealm, and the printed version is on Amazon, which I actually have a link for the printed one on this Twitch down below. I probably should add the PDF link as well. I recommend that people buy it directly from me because Amazon takes a lot of royalties, and so yeah, I mean I can, and I'm not trying to just oversell here or anything. I'm just letting people know the Rhealm module. I can send it to them for $16 for the printed module, including freight, $16. But on Amazon, it's $22 just to cover all those royalties they take. And then people have Prime will probably get free freight. I don't know. But anyway, my point. I was very fired up and inspired about it. And with HAIKON, I had a concept, and it's a campaign setting that has multiple adventures within it. It's not like a giant campaign setting that it's a baby campaign setting because it's just one continent. But yeah, so I had an idea, but I wasn't truly inspired. And I kind of mentioned this in the beginning of the HAIKON book. Once it comes out, you'll see it. I talk about this a little bit. And then I had a dream, and it was about a really cool character, and it had to do. And what I did is I was so inspired by this character that I dreamt about that I put the character, NPC character, into HAIKON, and I built it into a couple of the adventures, and I built it into the history and the kind of the makeup of HAIKON. I'm not going to give anything more away about that. But that was my inspiration, and then I was inspired. So what happened was after I published Frost Realm, and kind of talked about it, tweeted about it, and surprisingly, over a certain period, I sold about 20 books. What really shocked me is I just figured in this time that we're in that a lot of people would be buying the PDFs, because I'm like an old school. I've been playing D&D, since the early mid 80s or something, and I love books too much. I won't even play with a PDF. Yeah, I'm just old school. I use real dice. I use paper and pencil, and yeah. So, but to my surprise, people bought the book, and I was actually really happy about that. And not well, there's a little more royalties on the books, I guess, a little more than the PDFs, but that's not it. Because it was really not. I would love to make money doing anything creative. So yes, any kind of financial, but it definitely costs me more to build Frost Realm than the money I've made on it. Yeah, but when I received Frost Realm in the mail, actually I have it right here. This is the only copy I own of the original version. It has the not for sale. It was kind of the one to make sure I take a look at it and make sure that everything's okay. When I got it, I was shocked how good it looked inside. I'm not trying to just pat myself on the back. It's just that once it was actually printed, everything just fell together, and I was like, wow, I really like the way it looked inside. Yeah, and actually later I created, and I'm not just marketing here, but whatever. I'm just letting people know about this because I'm excited about it. Then I did a second edition where I changed the color like a purple. It's hard to see the colors, but the blue is a little bit more crystal clear because I think it's a higher pixel. When you mess around with the colors, it changed the pixels. Yeah, so with so I was really excited, and I was shocked to sell printed copies. And sadly about Amazon, the sad thing about Amazon is I have no idea who bought them, because that's where people were buying them. At that point, I wasn't even selling them direct, really. And well, a little bit, but not much. I wasn't really talking about that. I was just focusing on the PDF and in Amazon. Yeah, so because I sold on Amazon, I didn't really know who bought them, so I didn't get a lot of feedback. I sold a few PDFs. The price has been different at different times. But and I've mentioned this to people that know me and have talked to me or on Twitter. The most feedback I ever got about Frost Realm was from my girlfriend and my brother. Now, here's the thing. I realize that I know them, right? But they're not the kind of people that just compliment things like that. I'm a person that was very vocal, and I think something's good, I'll tell somebody. But not everybody does that. Not everybody communicates it even when they like it. So what happened was I'd wanted to play with my brother forever. He lives about 8 hours north, and we just never really see each other. And he's not a computer guy, and so we don't do anything online as far as like D&D or anything like that. But we finally got down here, and my girlfriend started to run Frost Realm for us. I played NPC characters that were helping my brother. So my brother was really the one making the decisions in regards, because I knew the dungeon, I knew everything about Frost Realm. So, but it was cool because during that, my girlfriend just was going through the book. She was running she was DMing a different campaign, but she never used a module before. I hadn't even used a module before. Everything was homebrew, but she just kind of said, "This is really great." She just kind of said that to me, and so and that meant a lot to me coming from her, because she's not going to just say it out of nowhere. I know her. And so that, and then during the game, my brother's like, wow, you need to make more, you need to keep making modules. So those two people's opinions are gigantic for me, and they're not the kind of people, like I said, that just compliment things. I'm more like that. So that kind of had to sustain me in regards to what do people think of this. The thing about Frost Realm, and I'm not going to be talking about HAIKON here in a minute, but the thing about it, anything, I've always heard, when you're doing art or you're doing certain things, do it for yourself, and also do it like I created a module that I would want to be in, that I would want to play. I think of it as kind of old school, and it has two different elements to it, two possible. You can go to the fortress, check this out, or you can go to the underground dungeon if you can find the way in. So it had the dungeon crawl, which I love, and I haven't done a lot of. But I love dungeon crawls. It's awesome. And yeah, so I had to kind of both those elements. And so I made it for myself. I made it as a thing that I would love. So that was my main thing. But still, it was nice to hear some feedback from my girlfriend and my brother, just because I put I worked on this for like a year and a half. It was nice to just get some feedback from about people that were actually playing it. So anyway, did Twitter on that for a little while, sold some books, and finally in like I think it was January of 2020, January and February, I finally started to kind of work on HAIKON. And there's stretches over 2020 and 2021, different periods where I was working on it. It's just a lot of work. It's going to be a bigger book than Frost Realm because it's a campaign and because it has several adventures in it. Similar to Frost Realm, there are creatures. Now with Frost Realm, I took some regular D&D creatures and altered them, kind of gave them some frost resistance or whatever, kind of altered them for the land they were in, because the continent they were in is ridiculously cold, not naturally cold, beyond like a exceptionally cold climate. And so I kind of tried to alter some of the hybrid them a little bit. And then I had certain creatures and that I custom created. And then I had, of course, the NPCs, the specific NPCs that I created for Frost Realm. Well, with HAIKON, it's the same kind of thing. Took a bunch of the kind of basic stuff, but I'm not going to be probably doing a lot of altering to them. And then I created some creatures. I'm not even sure if I have the final group there of what I want, but yeah, it's but with HAIKON, it's got I don't want to give too much away. I keep keeping it secret, but it's like, what's the point? There's so much D&D stuff out there, and I have to be honest, even between since I did the thing in November 19th and now, it is just so much content on there. But it doesn't really matter. It's not about competing with other people's stuff. It's really with finding people that like what you do. And my my voice, and that's true about anything. Like if I'm hoping to do like streams on here, and I'm not the kind of person that likes attention, but I'm so passionate about D&D, and I really enjoy this. I enjoy being on Twitch. I enjoy being online. So I just get a rush from it. It's like doing a radio show, and I always thought it'd be fun to do a radio show. So I don't mind that. But I never, I know that there's a lot of streams out there. I know obviously Critical Role is the monster right now. And I did happen to start watching that in 20. No, when did I start watching it? 2017 or whatever. And let's check something really quick. Make sure there's not anybody out there that I should be talking to here. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, but my point is, a lot of people do streams, and it's very rarely that I find any that I want to watch. But like, if you like the specific style, or if you like the people or the DM, you'll watch it, and it's just flat out true. So it'd be great to have some people that liked what I do, because I think mainly I'm a storyteller and I like to draw people in. And so if I do DM a stream here, and I'm hoping to do that, even if I'm just doing it for Kate, I'm hoping that my stories will draw people in. There's also a chance that she'll DM me, or we'll kind of go back and forth between two campaigns. And those are just one-person campaigns. I'm kind of hopping all over here, but this is just D&D talk. It's not super structured. Yeah. So, like I said, with HAIKON, where I'm at with HAIKON is this. There's been moments where it's been hard. It's just been hard because it's like this. It's like whatever percent inspiration and the rest is perspiration. It's just the grind, whether it's typing or writing or creating. All the concepts are pretty much done, other than if I add things, and it's at a point where I really want to get someone else's feedback. I had a specific editor in mind that's been very busy, and I had kind of waiting, hoping that there'd be some time that would come up. That I don't think that's going to come up. So I kind of went to my second choice editor, and she is too busy as well, and with her regular life, and so I'm at a place now where I'm like, I printed it up because I don't like just working on a Word document. I printed up a copy of what I have on HAIKON, and I've just been trying to edit it myself. Like, I did Frost Realm completely on my own. Kate helped me with the layout, the look of it, but all the words, everything, I just did myself. And but with this one, I just feel like I need some feedback. I need some feedback about mechanics, a few mechanics that I've added to the campaign. But it's not just that. I mainly there's just certain the shifting of words and the so I'm trying to push myself through and do it myself, but I may end up trying to find someone, and for me this might be really hard, but some of it's just luck. You know, when you happen to find someone you click with, someone that I've edited. The two people that I had approached already, one of them edited. Okay, the one who I was hoping to have edited, had edited my first novel, and no, sorry, get this right. Edited my second novella, not a novel, novella. I haven't written anything real long, and then the other one had edited my first novella and my poetry book. So I've worked with both these people, and there's just a thing. It works, you know. And anybody who's a writer, who's any writing, who's worked with an editor, knows what I'm talking about. You just find someone that you're able to kind of click with. Either they enhance what you do, or they just really, really help you communicate exactly what you want, or whatever the blend is. So that's my little update on HAIKON, is that I'm in a place I absolutely need to get some feedback and some editing done. If I get a third person, I'm going to need to generate some money to pay them. The other two people, editors, I've paid them some, I've paid them not. They're people in my life that didn't necessarily want me to pay them. But if I have to go and find someone to help me with the editing of HAIKON, I'll probably have to pay them, because I don't think there's anybody in my life that would not want me to pay them like the other two. So it's not a big deal. I just need to figure out a way to do that. But and then I have to figure out if I want to get the money together first, or if I want to find the editor first, or it doesn't really matter. I got to figure that out. Other than that, you know, I think I had like 8 drawings done for HAIKON. We're really happy with them. I haven't announced the artist. Not that he's some famous artist, but I kind of wanted to wait till the end of the project to kind of mention who the artist was. They were going to do a certain amount of drawings for me, but I kind of like what I have. Any other kind of art I might want, I don't know that it would be characters. I almost feel like there's certain things, whether it's mountains or a treasure chest or whatever it is. I feel like there's maybe some other kind of art that I would like to have in HAIKON, but I will have to also get somebody for that if I end up wanting to do that. So I'm kind of at a place where I just want to edit it, and the rest of it I'll figure out. And once I am actually full-blown focused on something, then it moves fast. But when I feel like there's fundamental things like needing to edit it are kind of there, it kind of holds up everything else for me. It's just the way I work. I know there's people out there that are publishing, and they just pump out things. I mean, I've seen people like once a month or whatever. It's just crazy how much content some of these people can pump out, and that's just not me. Of course, I would have loved to have done HAIKON a year after my original module, and maybe just one module a year for now or whatever. But as it turned out, because it's going to be a bigger book and a lot more to it, that's really the main reason I think it's going to end up taking 2 years. It probably won't be. I would love to publish it this November, because that would be 2 years from my original, but we'll see. I would have to find the editor, and I'd have to finish everything else. The other thing with HAIKON is maps. I have a way to. I found a site that allows you to use their thing where you can create maps on their site, and they allow you to use it as long as you give them credit. So that's awesome. Kind of found a thing a while back. I'm gonna have to, once I get editing done, or working on that, I'll start working on those maps too. And that's that's actually the geography maps. I also have to build. I've built several castles and things like that, but I need to build more. With Frost Realm, I drew the castle, and I think it was 3-level castle, and I couldn't afford to hire a person who does maps and things like that. It was just out of my range, and obviously because I wasn't even planning on necessarily making any money back. So if I was actually if I ever start selling books, then of course I might be able to up some of the things that I put into them. But yeah, so the way it turned out is I the artist who did the drawings, I had to, and I asked if he would consider, digitalizing the maps. Like I would draw the maps and then he'd put them in digital form. And he didn't really want to do it because it's not something he feels that he hadn't really done it before. And I don't think, and he wasn't something that he likes to be really good at whatever he does. And I don't think he just wanted to create kind of, I don't want to call him makeshift because I actually really like the maps. I don't think he does. And he doesn't do that kind of work for people. He bent his own rules for me. So thank you, Alan. And I don't ever tweet about maps that he did for me or anything like that because I try not to. Sometimes I might show a piece of my map, but I don't mention who did it. So this is all elaborate. But anyway, bottom line is that I have all these castles and all these things I need to build, and then I am going to need to figure out somebody that can help me digitalize them. So there's that. So this is kind of this is a different kind of around the watch D&D talk. Like I said, normally they will run 12, 14 minutes. Not that they're super normal. I mean, there's anormal because I've only been doing this a couple weeks, but I kind of took last week off. But unless there's somebody in chat to talk with, that's kind of really the core reason I'm here. So in that case, I had a couple of these shows that ran like an hour or whatever because I'm just talking D&D with them and it's awesome. In fact, Alan was one of the people that popped in and we talked. That was awesome. If that's one of our episodes, you can check out one of the longer. There's like 2 longer ones. He's one of those. And then there was another guy who has his own stream that popped in that I had talked to before when I had streamed on Twitch. Kate and I had streamed chess and also times where he just got on there and talked about D&D and we met this guy. He popped in recently on this show, so that's another longer video that I haven't. But both those were really good. We talked about lots of D&D stuff. So you might want to check out the longer versions. The longer, if you look under my list of videos on this Twitch, you might check out the longer of the two longest ones because those are the ones where I'm actually talking to someone about D&D as opposed to me just talking about D&D or a subject that I have chosen for the day. So, yeah. So I can sit there and say I have a lot of work with HAIKON to do with the maps and this and that, but I know me. I know that once I get editing this thing, I think everything else will just go. So we'll see what happens. That's kind of my long explanation of HAIKON and where it's at. Latter thing about HAIKON is I do some game testing, actually with my mom. Okay, I'm very close with my mom. I always have been. I am living there at the moment. She's a very imaginative person, very artistic person who never pursued anything artistic. She had 4 kids. She did the 9-to-5 blue collar job. She never pursued anything with her artistic abilities, but she is the ultimate fan of art. She loves movies and opera, but she even loves playing Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm doing some game testing with her on HAIKON with that. I might do some more game testing with some other people at some point too. I don't know if I'll stream it on here or not. I'm not sure what I'm doing. Like I said, so I know this is like I keep saying this is kind of a long ramble of things, but that's kind of what I wanted to do. I just kind of wanted to say where I'm at. With my actual games that I play D&D, I play one basically every other week, unless there's certain weeks where people aren't available. And that's with 5 people. I play that on Discord. I don't stream that. And then my girlfriend was running a campaign for a couple of years, but that's gone on hold because we lost one of the core players, and I'm not sure if she wants to continue or what we're going to do with that. If she's going to figure that out, and like I said, she's very busy, so I'm not sure when she'll figure that out. Beyond that, I created a realm, and I've talked about this in some of my other these videos on Twitch. I created a new realm, a new plane, a new realm that I planned on using if I do any online stream campaigns on this channel. And I tested that realm a little. I'm still building it with my brother, who, like I said, normally we just don't play any D&D, but we actually he's been off a lot because of COVID and everything, and because of some health stuff. So there were several weeks there I got to actually play with him on the phone, and had him on speakerphone, and we got to go into that realm a little bit, and that was a lot of fun. That's kind of where I'm at with D&D. I want to be playing more. It's been over a couple months now since we've played in my girlfriend's campaign, so I'm missing being a player. And as dungeon mastering is my favorite thing in the world. I love creating stories. I love creating the world. I love portraying all the characters. I'm someone who loves doing voices. That's just something I like to do, and I love all that. So I love dungeon mastering. But there's that part of me too that when I'm a player, I'm just free. I can just pour everything into the one player, and it's been awesome. And in playing in Kate's campaign is the most highest level character I've ever played. I don't know what level is he. 9, 7, 8, 9. I don't know. I think he's 9, maybe. Gosh, that's how. I mean, for me, that's high. I've never played a character. Highest I think I never played a character was like 5. I just haven't been a player that much. Often play paladins. Love paladins. Doragon is, once again, I've mentioned before, Doragon is the name of my pseudo name for my D&D Twitter. Doragon Kishu, paladin and dragon rider. I've never played Doragon, and I've never played a dragon rider. So maybe someday I'll play Doragon the dragon rider. That would be pretty cool. At this point, I'm really wanting to maybe play a warlock, a bard, or maybe a ranger, just because I love Aragorn, and I've had some amazing NPC rangers that I do group members with in my different campaigns. I have group members, and I've had some rangers I've really liked, but I've never gotten to full blown be a player at one. I don't believe so. So I think that kind of updates anybody who cares that's watching this on basically where I'm at. Either going to find an editor, or I just don't know that I'm going to be able to just do it myself. I feel like I need feedback. So either find an editor, maybe generate some money for that somehow. I'm still not wanting to really do Kickstarters and all that. I've seen how well it works for certain people. And my concern is that I move at my own speed, and I don't know. I feel like there's an invisible pressure that would be on me to, produce. And but if I can get over that worry, then maybe I will Kickstart at some point. I have Kickstarted to get editors for my novellas a long time ago, and that, I got, hundreds of dollars for that, and it worked out great. It's fine. Yeah. So, hey, you know what? Thank you for checking this out. It'll be on this. It's going to be on Twitch here, this video, but I'm also going to be putting it on YouTube. My YouTube, and down below is a link to my YouTube, which has all 7 of my episodes, and this is the 8th episode of Around the Watch. And yeah, so the link down below will take you, if you ever want to check out the earlier episodes. They're all on YouTube, but you can watch them on Twitch as well, whichever you prefer. And I think that's about it for today. It's a longer chat here, but I did take last week off, so I kind of wanted to re-enter and kind of just talk about me and D&D in general, whether it's my publishing or my games or whatever. If you have any feedback, my Twitter is also below. You can message me if you have ideas for subjects, because I do like to have a subject no matter what. Even if somebody comes in chat and I spend the whole time talking to them, maybe we'll talk about the subject, or we'll just talk about D&D. But yeah, if you have any ideas for subjects, you can send that to me on Twitter. If you have comments about the videos, you can, I think on YouTube, you can reply to those. And I really do appreciate you coming by and checking this out. Yeah. Take care.